Now, as we mentioned before, HTTP is a stateless protocol. That means two requests sent from the same client has absolutely no relation. But today, the websites are mostly interactive and status information. That is, the information that is required for the user to be recognized during HTTP requests is of vital importance. Because the HTTP protocol does not contain such information by its design, software engineers have developed their own methods to provide session management. The most important and most widely used of these methods is that unique session information generated by the server is sent to each client individually, and the clients introduce themselves to the web server and hence the web application, using this unique information in following HTTP requests. While session management had to be implemented by developers in the past, most of the tasks are now handled by application servers. And so the developers have been saved from such an important and difficult responsibility. But don't give up hope. Developers still have to manage some important tasks of session management, such as starting and ending the session. Mistakes done in session management allow us to perform some attacks. We will see the most important of these attacks in this section. There are a few methods to manage sessions, such as URL rewriting, hidden form fields, special HTTP headers or SSL keys. But the most popular session management method is the use of cookies. When the client sends a request to the application, if the client does not have a valid session token at this time, the server returns a session token in setCookieHeader. After this time, the client sends its requests with this session token in the cookie, and the server identifies the client with this information. Now, as we said before, the use of cookies is the most popular session management method, and cookies contain session tokens. Session tokens contain session IDs and some other information. Session IDs are the unique identifiers that are used to identify the users. One of the attacks against session management is that the session information generated on the server side is predictable. This is usually caused by the following situations. First, using sequential session IDs. It's not seen that much today. Second, using weak random number generators. There are some weak random number generators that just shouldn't be used anymore. These methods are not intended to generate unique numbers. And third, using short session IDs. If the session ID is not long enough, it might be the subject of a brute force attack. So, session ID has to be renewed by the application when the user logged in. If the session ID is not renewed, we can perform the session fixation attack. The attack scenario is as follows. Attacker visits the application which has inadequate session management and gets a valid session token. Then, he prepares a link to the application which contains the session token and sends the link to the victim, for instance, in a phishing email. Since the link is to a trusted website, victim does not suspect the link and clicks it, and logs into the application using his own credential. The application identifies the victim, but doesn't give him a new session ID. So after this time, when the attacker visits the application with the same session ID, he is now victim on the application.